going to show you play by play how you can actually go about preparing and filing these applications. And we're going to do it from the perspective of a non-represented party. So let's just jump right into it. So look, the first thing that you need to do is you need to go to the Apply Online page. And I have it here listed for you in right below. Even if you don't have this link, it's really easy. Just do a search. But you want to get to this page here. That's where it says Apply Online. And once you get here, all you need to do is go to the initial application forms, okay? So you're going to click on the initial application forms. That's going to link you to another page. And then it's going to ask you, are you ready to start your application? Now, the system that the Trademark Office uses is called TEAS. It stands for Trademark Electronic Application System. It's actually relatively simple and straightforward to use, which is the good news. You're going to click on Start Your Application in TEAS. And I just want to, just so that there's continuity and clarity in this content, I want to make it very clear that I'm already logged into the USPTO.gov site. At this stage in the game, I think it would be best if we proceeded with just a TEAS Plus application. With the TEAS Plus application, it's $50 cheaper. However, you are limited as to the description of the goods and services that you actually input into the application. So when you do the Plus application, you have to pick from canned descriptions of goods and services. So you don't have as much latitude when you're describing the goods and services that you're putting on the market. So keep that in mind. I will tell you, I never file TEAS Plus applications because I want to always have the latitude. Even if my description of goods and services turns out to be very simple and could possibly be a canned version, I don't do it because I always want to have the flexibility. The problem is that after you file your application, you can't retroactively go back and change the character of the application from TEAS Plus to TEAS Standard. So I always think it's better, just pay up the extra $50 up front and make sure that you have the flexibility and latitude whenever you are preparing your goods and services description. However, for the sake of thoroughness and completeness, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a TEAS Plus application just so that you guys can all see it and understand what it is. Is an attorney filling this application out? We're going to say no. I'm going to assume for a second here, but for this video, let's just do the basic TEAS Plus, so the cheaper application, and just have a non-attorney filing it. So then you're going to click continue, and then it's going to prompt you to enter your information. So in this particular case, we're going to have just me doing it individually. Now, the office has this weird format where they actually require you to put your last name, your first name, and your middle initial. And then if you're a DBA, so if you're doing business as, you want to make sure that you're actually doing business as. Don't do this, don't select this unless you actually have a registered DBA with your county. But for our purposes, let's keep it really simple. I'm just going to be the owner. I'm an individual. Again, we can create a lot of follow-up content on the various entity types. I will tell you now that most of in my practice, most of what we do is our corporations and limited liability companies. If you do a corporation, you have to indicate the state of incorporation, the state of it where it's incorporated. If you do an LLC, as you can see, it's also going to ask you for the state where it was organized. But again, individual, all you have to do is give the citizenship. So I'm a U.S. citizen, so I'm going to pick I'm going to pick U.S. citizen. And then I have to give my address. So your mailing address is okay. So I have a mailing address here at Impact Hub in Oakland. So I will use this address just for explanatory purposes. 2, there we go. Put my zip in. Now, I do want to make a really, really important point. Some of you watching this video might actually be somewhat famous, in which case you don't want to actually have your personal residence to be displayed on the trademark database. And so to keep it confidential, you can uncheck this box and include a separate domicile address. So just keep that in mind. That is an option. But again, I'm just going to use my mailing address here for purposes of this explanation. Now, this is a really recent thing, but the trademark office started requiring us to actually provide our email addresses when we prepare and file these applications. This didn't used to be a requirement. The website is optional, so is the fax number, and so is the phone number. Now, what you're going to notice is when I hit continue here, I'm actually going to be prompted. I'm going to be warned. The trademark office is basically going to say, hey, look, I don't have your phone number. That's a problem. If we need to get a hold of you, that might be a challenge. And so we highly encourage you to provide a phone number. Now, I prefer to err on the side of privacy and just I don't like to include this information at all. So I'm gonna not include a telephone number. And for most of our clients, I also like to keep their information as private as possible. So I don't even include their phone numbers. And I haven't had any issue with this. So at this point, you're gonna hit continue. And this is the part where you can actually enter in the mark. So this is where I need my assistant, Victoria's help. So what was the brand name that we came up with that we want to protect we want to use to sell our clothing?
It was Flip Threads.
Okay, cool. So let's do Flip Threads. And did you want one word or 2 words?
I think it was 2 words we did last time.
Cool. Let's do 2 words. Flip Thread. And what we're going to do now is click on the preview button. So this gives you an opportunity, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see the preview button. You can't. Basically, when you hit the preview button, what you see is you see a large rendition of the actual text, but it's the text in actual JPEG image format, but it's just plain text and it's written out just the way that you see it here. And then we're going to hit continue. And now this is the part where the TS Plus distinction really, really matters. Because we picked the TS Plus application, we're limited in terms of what goods and services we can actually indicate. Now, remember, if you did the TS standard and paid the extra $50, so in other words, $275 instead of $225, then at this stage, you would have the option of entering what they call a free form text. So you can enter in any description of goods and services that you want. But in this case, we're limited because we went for the $50 cheaper option. And so we're stuck basically with these canned descriptions. Now, I will say the one cool thing about doing this method is that you don't have to worry about selecting the right class number because it's going to give it to you. So when we type in clothing, let's do clothing. Now we have a ton of suggestions. So what I recommend doing is you're going to want to be as specific as you can. Let's see if we can. There's one specific articles. Let's see. So I've done this multiple ways. I'll show you one way that you can do it. It's really simple. So Victoria, why don't you help me out? What kind of clothing are you going to sell?
Jeans.
Okay, we're going to add jeans and then we're going to insert it. Do you want denim jeans?
Yeah.
Blue jeans? What about jeggings? Let's forget those are a thing. Fabric jeans?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to insert all these, not jeggings. Sorry. And we can actually add more. It actually gives you latitude, so you can go back and forth, which is nice. So let's add some more. Anything else you want to sell, Victoria?
How about jackets?
Oh boy, you got options. All these options. Jackets and socks. That's a really, really funny grouping. Oh man, we're going to be boring. We're just going to do shell. We're just going to do jackets. Now, you just keep inserting the entries and they're going to keep getting added, which is really nice. I do want to show you guys one cool thing about this. Let me see if I can find a good example. So let's see what happens if we type apparel. This is not a good example, nurses apparel, but I want to show you what this brackets give you the option of doing because it's actually a really useful tool. Medical apparel, let's see. So just for the sake of explanation, I'm going to pick nurses apparel. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you what happens. So anytime that you presented with these curly braces, this is actually going to give you the opportunity to add text into the actual description. This is the one area of latitude that the TEAS Plus application gives you. So let's just pick nurses clothing, nurses apparel. So you're going to be doing nurses apparel and jeans, huh? So it actually gives you the option of what type of clothing you want to add. Gowns, let's just say, medical gowns, gowns, let's just say. And then you just click add, and then it's going to be added. And once you do insert checked, oh wait, I'm sorry. I need to remove these two. And once you do insert, these are actually going to be added. So you can see. So again, a really useful tool. If you're going to go the TEAS Plus route, just know that there is some latitude, but you basically have to look for those curly braces. So if you see those curly braces, again, I'm just going to just one more time. I'll just show you one more time for the sake of explanation. If you do clothing and just do a broad search, you're going to see in various situations, you'll see some options sometimes to actually insert. Here, figure skating clothing, namely. So if I were to select this right here, this option, I would have the option of actually inputting the specific type of figure skating clothing that I want. So again, good tool. You do have some latitude, but as always, I really, really recommend just paying the extra $50. Now here, I think we're going to break this up into some different sets of content, but for the sake of simplicity, let's just do section 1B. So this means that Victoria hasn't yet started selling her mark. So we haven't yet started, but we're going to, we intend to. So we're going to do section 1B application. We're going to, we have to check the box here, understanding basically what we're basically saying. We're saying we have a bona fide intent. We are actually going to be using this mark to sell goods and services, and in particular, these items here. By the way, I am going to uncheck class 10 just because, I'm sorry, I need to fix this because class 10 is actually medical equipment. And so oh, whoops, let me assign it. I'm sorry. The reason why I am removing class 10 is because remember each class, shoot, okay, 1B. So we're going to assign the filing basis 1B, and then I'm going to remove it. Real quick, just the reason why I want everything under class 25 is because each class is going to cost me an extra $225. If I had clicked the standard application, each class would have cost me an additional $275. Okay, so we're going to proceed on all these under class 1B. Class 1B just, again, means that we're intending to use the mark in commerce, but we haven't started using it. What does that mean? It's a fancy way of saying you haven't started selling your goods or services yet. So you haven't started selling your jackets, your blue jeans, your denim jeans, but you intend to. You're going to in the future. So this is an opportunity for you to know that, yeah, hey, I'm going to be able to secure this mark, get this mark registered, and then once I actually have it allowed and I have a registered mark, then I can go back, submit a statement of use, and I'll have a mark register, the principal register. So it's a really, really good tool. Okay, so we're going to hit continue. We're almost done here, guys. At this point, you just need to give it a reference number. Since it's me, I'm just going to use my initials, T for trademark. Secondary email addresses are optional. Like I can add Victoria if I want, not necessary, but you can put up to 4, just separate them by semicolons. And then we're going to continue. And again, we're almost done. Now, this is where you sign. Again, if I am doing this for myself, this is I'm going to be selling the clothing items that Victoria listed. It's going to be my brand. I'm going to own it. I can sign it. So just to keep it simple, I'm going to sign directly. The basis is going to be 1B, 1051B. This just says that I don't know of any reason why I shouldn't get the mark. In other words, there isn't some other similar mark out there that I know of. And everything that I've said here, I believe, is factually supported. And then the last is saying, hey, I'm signing under penalty of perjury. Better not be making this stuff up. Okay. Now, here to do the signature, you just have to put your name between slashes. It's really simple. It'll auto-populate the date sign when you tab to it. And then again, here for the name, you're just going to do your last name and then your first name. It's like that. And then position here, I'm the owner in this particular case. If I was doing this for a client, I would be, of course, their attorney of record. And so I wouldn't have put owner. But this is just a hypothetical. So I'm just going to put my phone number. This is our office line. And then I'm going to click validate. I'm almost done. I'm one step away. Oh, I didn't check the perjury. Vladimir. Okay. Now I validate. And we are almost there. All I have to do now, this will give me the option to review the application before I submit. So if I click input, it'll show me this nicely formatted application. You'll see my mark here, flip threads. This is my mailing address. My email is here. Where's 1B? Up, here's 1B. Really quick, this is the identification. So this is actually a description of the goods. Again, notice gowns, we inputted that. That was optional because we were able to select and use the curly brace option on the TEAS Plus. Again, just one class 25. And so we're only going to have to pay $225 for this application. Has our docket number, my email, again, correspondence information, and my signature. So I e-signed on behalf of myself. So I hit back. I can look at the mark before I file just to make sure you guys can all see that. This is an actual image file. You can actually save it. You can open it as an image, whatever you want. And we are done. All we have to do is check this final box. This, again, notices, and we're going to have to roll a fee when we hit submit. And we hit submit. And once we get to this stage, all you have to do is pay the fee, and will receive a filing receipt, and your application will be pending before the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and you will have a serial number. That serial number will be tied to your application. All you do here is hit credit card, fill out your credit card information, payment, your address, and you are good to go. Just to be clear, once you get to that stage, you're done. All you have to do is pay this fee. Then once you pay the fee, you're going to get an email confirmation. It's going to actually have your filing receipt. And it's also going to give you the option to download a PDF of your entire application. So that's just a really, really quick run through. Again, 15, 20 minutes, you can protect your clothing brand. Now, this is just really, really great content because a lot of people just want to know what the process is like. And we just literally step through the entire process for what's called a Section 1B trademark application. In other words, it's an intent to use application. So we're not yet selling our clothing items, but we want to protect the brand first. And again, we did the TEAS Plus application, so save $50. But again, you saw how limited it was. You really only could pick items that were in that on that form, right? And so if you do pay the $50 more, which we'll do tomorrow, we'll create the same sort of content, but we'll do the Plus application, sorry, the standard application, pay a little more, and Victoria will have more latitude in describing the goods and services that I'll be selling.